KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're live on YouTube. And guess what, guys? I have an Eddie Murphy update. We're still in the running. We got a response from Amazon Prime today. Stefan, did you see it?
I did see it.
Mark, did you see it?
In fact, I did. Yeah.
We're still in the running.
Well, sort of.
No. If you're either in the game or out of the game, we're in the game. We're at least being actively considered. That's the way I'm going to spin it.
You have not been completely dismissed yet.
Not completely. They haven't said no. We've gone on to the next round of the competition.
All right. Well, it's a semantic difference.
Still going.
No. It's being evaluated. It's
all right.
I always say it's easier to say no outright. It's always easier to just say no and be done with it.
Unless you have a stalker.
Wow. We're not there yet.
Are you sure?
We're not stalking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next step below stalker? Like persistent, extremely persistent?
I would say I'm extremely persistent.
Yeah.
But very respectful.
Yet obsessed.
Not quite obsessed.
Come on. No. Nobody's listening. You can tell me.
No. Not quite obsessed.
Okay.
It is very important to me. It is a dream. It is a career highlight if it were to happen. But yes, we heard back from Amazon Prime today. Gave them a little nudge, and they said, "Oh, okay, we're gonna have you talk to our agency."
Yes, let's run this up the flagpole.
They're running up the flagpole. I am not going to let you steal my joy, Mark.
No. I'm here to enhance your joy.
No, you're here to harass me.
No, just add to the joy. That's my job here.
So all I'm saying is, it's not a no. It's not a no. We have been acknowledged, and it's now going up the chain, and we're getting some more consideration. And we have other people to bug now. But it wasn't a no. To all of you saw it wasn't a no.
In all of our years of doing this, you and I both know that once you get a response in the affirmative of we are looking at it.
That's right.
It's going down.
That's right.
9 times out of 10, it goes down.
Of all the times that we've ever reached out to Arnold Robinson, we have never gotten this far. Ever. It's usually a no inside of 30 minutes.
Well, it's like you've already won then.
You ever played that video game where you always get killed off at the same point? And then, or if you see the game, see the movie, Edge of Tomorrow, and after a certain point you realize, well, what happens next? I don't know. I haven't gotten this far. I don't know what's going to happen next because we've never gotten this far. We are on at least step 2 of getting Eddie Murphy on this show.
It's like we mastered the cheat code and have gotten to the next level, and it's like,
now we may get a straight up no tomorrow. Who knows?
No. Let's stay in the affirmative.
But it was a good morning. It was definitely a good morning where we are still in the game, despite the naysayers like Mark, despite the naysayers. I get your messages. They say, like, you're not ever going to get him on the show. I know. I read what you say.
I mean, I see that look on Mark's face. It's full of doubt. He's a doubter.
I am blissfully happy for you because we're a team here. And if you're happy,
Doesn't
I'm
sound
happy.
like it.
I mean, no. More power to you. Keep going.
Other stuff we have on the show tonight. We have a Waymo and a Tesla self-driving update. One is good. One is bad. I'll let you figure out which is which. And the LA Times, they had a blistering editorial late last week on the Dodgers. And now other readers have weighed in. This is becoming more and more of a thing because it's too glaring to be ignored. I mean, if you know anything about the history of the Dodgers, if you know anything about what is still going on in LA, they had the raids in Santa Fe today. 2,000 more National Guard members, Mark Ronner will probably be talking about that at some point, have been sent to LA. Don't know when they're going to arrive, but I'm saying we may go through this again this coming weekend. Still, the Dodgers haven't said anything, and yes, people are taking notice of it. So I'm going to read some of the letters that were sent to the LA Times to give you a sense of the temperature right now. And remember that guy, Edwin Castro, who won $2 billion in the lottery? He's still buying property, and I'm not so sure I'm okay with it. We're going to tell you about how he's been buying up property in Altadena. and it doesn't quite sit right with me, but we'll get into that before the hour is over. And no, Twala, we're not doing this story. We're going to save it for Thursday.
No,
we're going to save that one for Thursday. It's better suited coming behind. I mean,
Coming
after
through?
the sex doctor. We'll talk. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. But I will say my final thought tonight is going to have to do with Amazon and a memo which was released to its employees earlier today, where the president of Amazon basically said, a lot of you won't be with us next year because we're firing most of you due to AI. You have been replaced. Maybe he didn't use those words, but he pretty much used those words.
that's the translation I got.
Oh, absolutely. Can't wait to talk about that and make Mark really mad before the show's over, because it proved everything that we've been saying. Everything.
Looking forward to it.
It's AI is inevitable, and you're not going to like it, Mark. You're going to go kicking and screaming into the 21st and a half century.
Well, you know why I don't like it? Because no rational person likes it.
No, I don't hate it.
I said rational person.
Hey, Stefan, do we need to have his mic on during the news break? Can he do it just yelling from a different studio?
Fair enough.
Okay. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly, he warns us all. Says autonomous vehicles might be our downfall. But then Tuwala comes on and claims it's all under control. He says Mo Kelly is wrong, but Mo thinks he's on the payroll of Waymo. 'Cause Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, run over grand. Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, the end of us all.
KFI AM 640 is Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We have a Waymo update and also a Tesla update. It's good news for Tuwala, bad news for Tesla. Waymo announced that they're expanding their service further into Los Angeles and San Francisco. Starting today, Waymo will roam more than 120 square miles of LA County, from Santa Monica downtown to West Hollywood to even Inglewood. The expanded service area will include Playa del Rey, Ladera Heights, Echo Park, Silver Lake, and the entirety of Sunset Boulevard. So if you plan to cruise in Hollywood, go up and down the Strip, you will start seeing Waymo taxis anywhere and everywhere. It's moving in a good direction for them. And also, Waymo is poised to expand to Miami, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. And starting today, Bay Area riders will have expanded access to the San Francisco Peninsula, Mountain View, Palo Alto, and Menlo Park. And if Waymo is expanding, you would think that Tesla would be on that same trajectory, since Tesla has been in the self-driving aspect of car technology longer than Waymo, which started off as part of the Google/Alphabet project. Now, what's happening with Tesla? Well, we haven't heard too much about their self-driving technology as far as their taxis go. But if I told you that a Tesla private owner was using it on self-driving mode, it directed him to a train track, got stuck, and then got hit by a train. A Tesla Model 3 got stuck on a train track and was hit. It was more like grazed, but it was in self-driving mode. The Tesla driver reportedly claimed that the vehicle was in that self-driving mode, and that was the reason why it got stuck. So he is completely blaming it on the car not being able to navigate appropriately. Tesla has been selling a quote-unquote full self-driving package for up to $15,000. Wait a minute. Wait. I buy the car. Mm-hmm. And I have to spend another $15,000 for a quote unquote full self-driving mode. But it still requires me as the driver to supervise the driving. It's not fully autonomous, and I'm still responsible for the car at all times. I get that from an insurance standpoint. But if I'm paying $15,000 for full self-driving, that isn't really full self-driving. Not that I want to be in the car, like in the back seat, like a Waymo while the car is driving. But how are you going to charge people $15,000 for an upgrade to your car, which is not even good as a Waymo?
Well, now I have a friend, my man Caesar, who has a Tesla, and when he did have his self-driving mode, he used it all the time, and he absolutely loved it. It would take him exactly where he's going. You do have to be in the front seat, but he was like, I didn't have to have my hands on the steering wheel. I could be, checking text messages, doing whatever. You do want to monitor and keep your eyes on the road.
Is that legal?
While it's in self-driving mode, yeah. With Tesla, it is.
No. Is it legal for you to be checking your text messages while it's in self-driving mode?
I guess, look, hey, look, Caesar, I'm sorry for busting you out if it's not legal, but
I don't know if you can do that.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, like, he absolutely loved it. It would take him exactly where he wanted to go. It knew all of his, personal routes and things like that, avoided traffic. He loved it. But that extra, 15 on top of the cost, he was like, well, I don't love that much.
I have to wonder, and I'm just thinking out loud, beyond just texting, if you were in the back seat and you were having a drink and the car is driving, how liable are you as far as DUI?
Interesting.
Because you are not, you're liable for whatever happens to the car driving, but could they bust you for DUI if you're not actually driving the car and you're in the back seat?
Or even if you're in the passenger seat.
Right.
Now, I'm wondering, and I will ask him, I think with Tesla's self-driving mode, you still have to have a body in the driver's seat. I think that's
okay.
the part of their self-drive. The car will drive itself, but you have to be in the driver's seat almost to reassure the car that if anything happens, you can take a hold of the steering wheel.
Yeah, I gotta wonder though. I mean, I don't know where the law begins and ends. We're in this really gray area, and maybe the law is, well, you are still responsible for the car. You are quote unquote driving the car, even though it may be in self-driving mode. So therefore you are operating it under the influence. Ergo, you're driving under the influence. I don't know, but I would love to hear from like a lawyers as to how much culpability, whether they could actually stick that to someone.
I wonder if you can then, in that instance, can you drink in a Waymo? Like, say if you're going to a ball game or you're going to a concert or whatever, and you and your friends want to, get some beverages on the way, and you want to just drink while you're in the car.
Well, if I can't drink in a Waymo, then what's the point?
That is true.
What is the point? Why am I getting someone to drive me somewhere? Obviously, because it's a third party. It's Waymo. It's not me. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that I don't control the car and I'm in the back seat. You're saying I can't have a beverage?
You have to be able to have a beverage.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I have a Waymo picking me up from Dodger Stadium, for example, since we were talking about the Dodgers a little bit earlier, when we're talking about the Dodgers in the next segment, I'll be damned if I'm going to get in a Waymo or even an Uber for that matter, and Stefan's driving. There's no way Stefan's going to tell me, excuse me, you can't have alcohol in this car while I'm driving. Bump that, Stefan. How many drunk people have you had?
Too many to count.
All right. How many had an open container in your car?
I could probably count it on one hand, but it is not actually allowed. Unfortunately.
No, not allowed by Uber or not allowed by the law?
Well, according to Uber and the law. Because one time I had a girl and it was just a cup and we hit a bump and it spilled. And
it was just one girl, one cup?
Which she...
Yeah, y'all got that joke, huh?
I got that one.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, it's so she spilled part of her drink and she got out. It smelled like alcohol, and I'm like, I can't pick the next person up because then they might think I'm drinking. And so I just reported it because it was like staining because it was like a red, like I don't know what she was drinking, but it was really had a rich color to it. So I had to scrub it out. And then I guess they told me Uber replied to me and said, okay, we'll let her know, like, this is going to be a warning for her because you're not allowed to have it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I just needed the money to clean up the car.
Oh, Jonathan hits us in the Motown chat on YouTube and says, you can't have alcohol in a moving vehicle. Maybe not in California, but I know that there are other states in which you can. I'm almost positive because I know we did some of those stories, like the drive-through liquor store.
Yeah.
So
Plus, now I see what you're talking about. Where does it begin and end? Because limos.
right.
Limos,
Party
yeah.
buses. Yeah.
Party bus, yeah.
That's a moving vehicle, so I don't know.
Is it with access to the steering wheel?
Maybe
That might be the difference. Well, I mean, even a party bus. I mean, you can reach out and touch the driver.
Depending on the
driver a drink. You say, hey, driver, you want something?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
There's a
in theory.
partition
with
a limo and a party bus. I don't know, man.
Look, I need some lawyer to hit us up somebody who's passed the bar, please, to hit us up in the Motown chat. Everybody's a lawyer these days. Look, I Googled it. It has said this. I don't want your Google. I want someone who has a bar card.
According to Carnisha, you can drink in Louisiana.
In the car?
That's what she said on the chat. She's not keep telling us. She's telling the Momigos.
Carnisha, you need to elaborate. I mean, are you doing it legally or you just do it and no one stopped you? Because I have a lot of friends who do stuff they just assume you can do. Like, for example, you'll see people with like earbuds in the ear driving. And so I do it all the time. That's illegal. You can only have one earbud in driving. So sometimes people just think they know the law. Carnisha says, yes, you can. Okay. In Louisiana. I'm just have to look that up because, I know down south they have different laws when it comes to drinking and driving. It's like we're talking about the drive-through liquor stores. I just don't know what it might be in California if I'm in the back of an Uber or the back of a Waymo. And of course, if I'm just like in Santa Monica, if I just have my Solo Red Cup, how are you going to know? How are you going to know? My little thermos. It's later with Mo Kelly. Let's talk more about the Dodgers when we come back and see how LA is feeling about its team.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And there was this editorial by Dylan Hernandez in the LA Times on the 14th. And the title pretty much says it all. Cowardly Dodgers remain silent as ICE raids terrorize their fans. And it's a long piece, but I'll give you just some highlights and then I want to go to some of the responses. It goes on. The Dodgers boast that more than 40% of their fan base is Latino, but they can't even be bothered to offer the shaken community any words of comfort. How ungrateful, how disrespectful, how cowardly. Don't expect this to change. And according to Hernandez, the Dodgers sent a statement over saying, quote, we're not going to comment. And that's attributed to Dodgers Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, Lon Rosen. It's going to get to be critical mass after a certain point for the Dodgers. I don't know how they will be able to navigate this moment because ICE raids are still going on. We have 2,000 more National Guardsmen coming to Southern California. You're not going to be able to just look away for any length of time. But here are some of the letters that were sent. Quote, I would like to thank columnist Dylan Hernandez for his piece on the Dodgers, yada, yada, yada. This is an abomination. I say this as a native Angelino and lifelong Dodgers fan. Like Dodger Stadium itself, I was born in 1962. I attended games before Fernando Valenzuela's arrival and can say unequivocally that he changed the Dodgers for the better, making it a team for the whole city and making the fan experience far more vibrant and entertaining. For 45 years, the Dodgers have benefited from the spirit and income stream that the Mexican American and immigrant communities have given them. During last fall's victory parade, we heard a lot about how the Los Angeles fans, without exception, contributed to the World Series win. Hernandez is exactly right. The Dodgers' silence is a terrible betrayal of their fans' dedication and support. My heart broke a little Saturday to see so many Dodgers caps and apparel at the Whittier No Kings rally. In a better world, the Dodgers would encourage the use of their caps as a sign of solidarity among Angelinos and against the forces trying to destroy our city, and that is Lori Davies and Brea. Here's another one. I want to sincerely thank Hernandez for his recent column. His words cut through the noise, calling out the hypocrisy that many have chosen to ignore for far too long. But I also write to ask that we remember this violence didn't begin with ICE. Before federal agents targeted our neighborhoods with raids, and before the Dodgers organization chose to visit President Trump at the White House, this same corporation played a direct role in the forcible removal and destruction of 3 thriving Mexican-American communities, Palo Verde, La Loma, and Bishop. My family, the Arechigas, was among those violently displaced to make way for the stadium, talking about Chavez Ravine. This wasn't just a corporate land grab. It was a coordinated act between the city of L.A. and the Dodgers organization. Together, they demolished our homes and erased our communities. The Dodgers continue to profit off the land through promotions and nostalgia. She goes on, but it's Melissa Arechiga of Los Angeles. You get the gist of it. And this from Rob Jacobs. The Dodgers could make an impact by marching up to an ICE facility in their team uniforms and demanding that ICE and the Marines and National Guard leave. Such a demonstration would be impossible for Trump to ignore and could help lead to the withdrawal of the forces now terrorizing our community. I don't agree with that. No. But he goes on. At the very least, it could help restore the tarnished image the Dodgers now have. Rob Jacobs in L.A. I don't get too much into symbolism, but I do say this has tarnished the image of the organization. And after a certain point, they're not going to be able to buff it out, as they say. Just one more real quick. As a lifelong Dodgers fan, I sadly have to agree with the shocking silence of the club's management in terms of support for its community of loyal fans, especially those of Latino heritage who have been unfairly demonized and terrorized over the last several weeks. It's gutless and cowardly. The team of Jackie Robinson and many courageous others must do more. I, for one, will do my part by not attending any games this year. Rather, I will forego spending the hundreds of dollars that I annually spend on tickets, parking, and concessions, and will donate those funds to local charities and community organizations that will better use the support. History is still watching, and that's William W. Carter in Newbury Park. And I didn't think for a moment that I was the only one thinking this. I didn't think that I was the only one talking about this, but I think that I might have been the only one who was highlighting that this was not going to go away. This is not something that you can release a statement and that will be the end of it. This is not something where you can, pay for a commercial and say the Dodgers stand with the community. You can't do that because the Dodgers heretofore always took a stand. The Dodgers heretofore always had something to say. And after a certain point, your fans expect you to have something to say in moments just like these. Does it mean that they'll lose season ticket holders? Does it mean that they will have gone too far and they won't be able to get these fans back? I don't know. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but I do know that people are going to remember this and remember this for quite some time. It's not too late for the Dodgers to release a statement and at least acknowledge the importance of a moment. And it may not be enough for everyone. I'm quite sure fans will want to say, you need to pick a side. You need to support those who supported you for the past 40 years or so since Fernando Mania. I get all that. It's not for me to figure out for the Dodgers how to navigate this moment. I do know that if they don't, they will do irreparable harm to the Dodgers name. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. When we come back, remember Edwin Castro won barely over $2 billion? And he started buying up all this property, bought like a $25 million mansion. Well, now he's buying up properties, lots in Altadena And I'm not so sure I'm good with that. We'll tell you about it next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. I got to tell you, I'm usually not a hater, but I'm a hater on this one. I am a hater. I'm just telling you up front, I am a hater when it comes to Edwin Castro. You may remember he paid $2 for a lottery ticket and, you know, he hit the jackpot, the literal jackpot. Back in 2022, he won $2.04 billion. He took a lump sum of like $630 million after taxes, which meant he had probably 1.3 million. It's about 50% tax rate. And he immediately started making huge purchases. He spent $25.5 million on a 13,000 square foot mansion in the Hollywood Hills. A week later, he paid $4 million for a 5-bedroom house in Altadena for his parents. And that's key, in Altadena. So he has a connection to Altadena. His real estate company, Black Lion Properties, LLC, just want to put it out there just in case you happen to be looking for it. His real estate company recently purchased 12 different Altadena lots. I didn't say houses. I'm just talking about the lots, ranging from $530,000 to $950,000. Now, if you've ever driven through Altadena, you could not buy a house at $530,000. So he's getting this dirt cheap.
Pennies on the dollar, I promise you.
I suspect it is what they call it is a land grab, and he's a vulture preying on this community. And from what I understand, he's already familiar with the community because he's already bought property prior to this moment. It lists all the addresses, but the range is there's one property for $950,000. I should say one lot and listen to the size of this lot. 23,000 square feet, $950,000. He could put a tiny home on it and he could sell it for $1.6 million. There's one for 21,740 square feet, purchase it for $800,000. 16,000 square feet, purchase for $878,000. So I don't know, other than seeing an opportunity and is taking advantage of people. And you can say, well, they sold it to him, but Twala, you know better than I do the duress and stress that people are selling these properties or just walking away from them.
Absolutely, because one thing about Altadena people need to remember is that a lot of the home ownership in Altadena, a lot of these homes are owned by our elders. A lot of these are owned by individuals who, when I say they lost everything in the fire, I mean everything. All paperwork, everything, anything that they had. A lot of these residents don't have things backed up in digital files and this, that, and the other. And a lot of them, they don't have or did not have the proper insurance. And so the idea of being in your late 60s, 70s, and 80s and rebuilding a home, it just does not make sense. So he's taking advantage of individuals who really aren't seeing many options, especially in a city where so much help that's supposed to be there, so many resources that are supposed to be there helping individuals navigate this, they don't exist. There are very few organizations still around. A lot of the work that I'm seeing being done is being done by individuals in the community. Zaire Calvin, who we've had on the show before, has become a spokesperson for the city of Altadena, constantly trying to tell people, hey, here's where you have to go. Here's where you have to go. Here's where you have to go. But he does not work for the city officially. So it's just people in the community helping out. Individuals like Edwin Castro, who's using his money, who may see these homes for sale signs. He's getting these homes for pennies on the dollar. He's giving them what they're asking for, not what the properties are worth.
But let's make that distinction. Yes, they may ask for $950,000, for example, and when you just lost everything, that may seem like a good idea. But like I said, you can put a tiny home on a lot of these lots, and you can sell them for 1.5, 1.6 million.
Easily. A lot of the properties on my street alone are valued at 1.8 and higher.
Okay, then. All right. I was undervaluing it.
And this isn't even higher up in Altadena. Some of these addresses he's buying in places where these properties are arguably worth closer to $2 million. So it's like he's getting over right now.
What bothers me, and Twala, you can put it in your words however you want. What bothers me is he is specifically profiting off the pain of people in this moment. And if you can say, and I'm just using Rick Caruso as an example, I'm not pointing at him. You can, any developer could come in and feasibly have done something similar, and the motivations are same. It's a profit motive, but you're taking advantage of people when they are most desperate. Look, if you've lost everything and someone's going to dangle, let's say $530,000 out there, as opposed to having to go through all FEMA and all the other hoops that I know that, Twala, you've been jumping through. I get it. But you're taking advantage of people when they are at their fundamental weakest point. And that bothers the stuffing out of me.
He is no different than those same vultures that were coming around at the early onset of people going back and assessing their properties. And you had individuals walking up with business cards to people who were looking at the smoking husks of their once, beautiful homes. And now it's just a burnt pile of ash, and saying, hey, if you're interested in selling your property, here's my card. Trying to prey on people when they're at their weakest, when they don't see a way up. I absolutely stand against moves like this. And look, he can do whatever he wants to do with his money, but being from allegedly Altadena, he should know better. He should know that this is not the way that you should be doing things in the community of Altadena.
This goes back to what Mark says, and I hate quoting him. It's never enough. It's never enough. You got $628 million from the lottery, and you're just buying up property for the hell of it when you could be helping people on some level. But no, it's more a profit-making opportunity. And then, all I know is if I had that money, I would never do anything like that. And unfortunately, it seems like the people who do win that money never seem to be of the mindset of helping anyone but themselves. And, and I hear the stories, you've heard the stories about how much money he spends on personal security. Well, he's maybe created his own prison for himself because he's not winning over people at this point. He's not making new friends. Not at all. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.